What is up guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Mike and this is my kitchen. Today we're going to be preparing some delicious Philly cheesesteaks. Let's get started. We're going to start off by chopping up some onions. I'm going to make about 5 or 6 Philly cheesesteaks, and for that I'm going to use I'm not going to use the whole onion, half onion should be fine. You want to try and get the onions as fine as possible, so when you do assemble the Philly cheesesteak that it doesn't fall apart. It also makes it a lot easier for the onions to reduce when we're heating them up in the pan, and they cook a lot faster. There we go, they're all chopped up. With our red pepper complete, I'm just going to move on to the green pepper and just repeat the process. Okay, with our peppers complete, we're going to move on to the mushrooms. Interesting tip about the mushrooms, mind my language there, you actually never should wash mushrooms. You can pat them off, they tend to have a little bit of dirt on them. The reason why you should not wash them is when you apply water to the mushrooms, they start to go brown immediately as they start to ripen. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and chop up the rest of these mushrooms. We're going to move on to our steak. I've got this delicious ribeye, 60 days matured. It's going to make for an amazing Philly cheesesteak. In the meanwhile, while we're chopping up the steak, I'm going to be placing our cast iron pan on the grill so long with some nice avocado oil, garlic infused. There you can just see that beautiful cut of meat, nice and soft to the touch. You can just feel it breaking apart. Great, with our whole ribeye steak chopped up, we're just going to take the pieces, stack them up on top of each other like this. Well, they're a bit larger. And we're just going to run them through. Mince them up nice and fine. The ribeye steak is pretty soft, so it won't take too long, and it'll give a nice texture to the Philly cheesesteak as well. And there you can see we got the ribeye steak all lined up. I'm just going to grab them in a bunch and start cutting them through. Okay, with our prepping all complete, we're going to move on to the grill. Start throwing these guys, getting the meat nice and toasty. We're going to start off with the onions. We're going to start off with our fresh avocado oil. Okay, I'm going to wait for the pan to heat up, and then we're going to move on to the onions. Okay, our pan is nice and hot. We're going to start off with our onions. We're going to wait for the onions to get nice and toasty. With our onions getting nice and toasty, we're going to go ahead and add our green peppers and red peppers. We'll give a nice flavor to our amazing Philly cheesesteak. We're going to cook our veggies all the way through till it's about 90% done. We're going to go ahead and add our meat. With our veggies nicely reduced, we're going to go ahead and add our meat. The ribeye will cook pretty quickly, and since it has been matured, it has a very nice soft texture to it and should cook through pretty quick. Seasoning we're going to be using for the Philly cheesesteak, just some coarse black pepper, a generous helping of that, and we're also going to be adding some garlic salt. You could add other seasoning if you'd like. I just prefer these two spices. I don't add too much salt to the mixture because the cheese is pretty salty. And now we wait. With our Philly cheesesteak coming along nicely, we're going to go ahead, add our last ingredient, which is our mushrooms. And we won't forget the cheese. We're now allowing the ribeye to cook down. You can see all the moisture inside and the fats. It's going to just reduce down into a nice thick beefy broth. Okay, we had to move the operation inside due to some technical difficulties by running out of gas at the grill. So we're just going to continue it inside. We reduce everything nicely down all the way. At the moment we've got our mixture of our green peppers, red peppers, ribeye, mushrooms, garlic, salt, pepper. And we're just going to go ahead and toast the buns so long. Okay, we're going to go ahead, get some nice avocado oil on these. Throw them in the pan and get them toasted. With our buns toasting so long, we're just going to go ahead and add our cheese. You want to use processed cheese because the way they make it in Philadelphia is they don't use any other cheeses. They typically use provolone or cheese whiz. But in South Africa we do not have cheese whiz, so we're using the closest thing we can use, which is processed cheese. And there we go. That's our delicious Philly cheesesteak for so long. I'm going to grab the bun out of the pan and start building them. Okay, and there you can see these are deliciously toasted bun. I'm going to go ahead and start building it. I tend to use a smaller bun because typically when the Philly cheesesteaks are too big, you don't finish at all, or it just falls apart. So I use a smaller bun, and you can eat multiple smaller ones. Just gonna go ahead, add some more cheese. Just look at that. There we can see our beautiful Philly cheesesteak. Let's give it a taste. Wow. That is absolutely amazing. Probably the best steak sandwich you'll ever have in your life. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.